Good evening and welcome to the Hockey Night in Fort St. John edition of Community Roundup, sponsored by Brad's Furniture and Appliances. I'm Jordan Prentice and I'm joined by Fort St. John Huskies head coach Todd Alexander. Todd, thank you for joining me tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So tonight the Huskies will hit the ice for the first time in the new year after a much-needed break over the holidays. The Junior B team will make an attempt at 20 wins in a row in tonight's game against the Fairview Flyers. Todd, the Huskies headed into Christmas break after an intense back-to-back, 3-game road trip with 2 games against the Navigators, 1 against the Lumber Barons. Remarkably, your team won all 3 of those games, bringing you into a 19-game win streak. Tell me about that road trip.
Oh, it was a good road trip. It was nice to get out on the road and be competitive. It's a tough road trip for sure. I mean, there's a lot of travel in that. Both clubs play real well in their home barns there. And they're both heavy hockey clubs. So, yeah, it was a good test for our group. And, I'm glad that we got through it and then we don't have to go and do another one of those trips this year.
There's no more like that schedule?
No, that was the only one that we had on our schedule with that much travel. So
okay,
it's nice to get it out of the way.
Okay, and interestingly, after defeating them 3-2 in the first game of the trip, the Huskies faced off against the Navigators again in the final game of the weekend and celebrated a colossal 8-1 win. What was the difference between those 2 games? That's a huge deficit, right?
Yeah, I mean, in fairness to them, they played 3 games in 3 nights in their own barn too, so they weren't fresh by any means waiting for us. But I think at the end of the day, the mental drills that we work on, the mental toughness or mental fitness, whatever you want to call it, some people call it different things, but we work on that stuff around here. We talk about it constantly. It's a habit that we're accustomed to, and I think that it shows on nights like that when you don't have the energy. It's tough to play 3 games in basically 2.5 nights. We played at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, so I think we left high level at about 6:37 in the morning and arrived there, and so it was. We were excited to see the test. We were excited to see how the boys were going to respond to something like that, and I think that they passed with flying colors. How mentally ready they were to play that hockey game. So that would be the difference in that one. Okay. A 19-game win streak is a huge accomplishment, and as I said before we began this interview, every time I interview one of your players, they're level-headed, down to earth, despite their massive success. I'm wondering how you influence the team to keep their ego in check. Yeah, I mean, I get that a lot of things that I do rub off around here, and I've been here for quite a while now, so a lot of our veterans are used to me, but really at the end of the day, it's the group that influences themselves. It's a real player culture. It took a long time for us to get there, and now that we're here, it's the boys that just keep turning it over, and they're the ones also that make it better and better and better each and every year. They keep building upon it, so it comes from there, a lot of it, and they say that a good team could have a coach as a leader, but a great team has players that are leaders, and we got multiple leaders in there, and that's what makes it easy. Okay.
Your current record is better than this time last year, and last year was your best ever. Is that something that you consider or think about regularly when the team hits the ice?
I don't know. I mean, really around here, we play to a standard. We don't play for wins and losses. We know wins and losses will take care of themselves. If you're putting the right amount of time into something, caring about something, making sure that you're doing something about that, at least every other day, or for the most part, each and every day, depending on what type of person you are. But I think the standard is more important around here, and we pride ourselves playing a certain way and a certain pace of hockey, and the boys work really hard on Tuesdays and Thursdays around here. It's a pleasure to go out to practice and watch them work and be hard on each other, and you put the work in there and you get the reward at the end of the day when you put the work out on the game. So it's it's just something that you got to keep doing and stick to the process that they say. And really, the process isn't falling off of it and getting back on. It's sticking to it, paying attention to things that you can control, not worrying about the things that you can't control. That's how you can navigate the waters in a season.
And on that note, after last night's practice, how is the team looking? What kind of mentality do you feel like the guys have returned from Christmas break with?
Well, they're excited. There's a good energy around the room tonight. Obviously, they had a good break, a couple weeks off. Guys got on ODRs. They got on some tournaments that go on during Christmas time, wherever they were up to here, or some of the boys that are out of town. So there was a little bit of ice time, but as expected, when you get out of your routine that they're used to, there's a little bit of rust there and a few things that we'll need to shake off and make sure that we remind ourselves of the importance of the details that we need in a game to have the success that we do. So we'll look to just keep it simple here tonight and work hard and get back on the path that we know that this club can play at, and hopefully that'll start here tonight. I
mean, you guys are playing the Flyers tonight, and the Huskies have dominated the Flyers in every matchup this season. You guys have shut them out 3 out of 5 games. In your last game against the Flyers, your team came off the ice with a 14-4 win. So that being said, what are your thoughts heading into tonight's game? Are you grateful that, I don't want to say that the Flyers are an easy win, but are you kind of grateful that it's that is your record with them, I guess you could say? That makes sense.
Yeah, yes or no. At the end of the day, like I said, we're really concerned about the standard of play that we're putting out, and it doesn't matter who we play against. This has been a good league for a long time. There's a lot of really good players that come out of this league. They have a couple good players. They have a coach that's been in this league a long time. Lots of respect to him and his abilities. So yeah, you never really want to go in anywhere and take anybody lightly. There's already been a couple teams that have done that to these guys, and they scored some points on them. So we just want to stay out of that and play our game and see where she lies at the end.
All right. Well, personally, I hope the Huskies make it 20 tonight. The Huskies face off against the Fairview Flyers tonight at home in the North Peace Arena. Puck drop is at 8 p.m., so there's still lots of time to head down to the rink, support the team, and get some live local hockey action on a Friday night. Thank you so much for joining me, Todd.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm Jordan Prentice. I've been joined by Huskies head coach Todd Alexander. You've been watching the Hockey Night in Fort St. John edition of Community Roundup, sponsored by Brad's Furniture and Appliances, and we'll see you next time.